I never like, I never like, I never like.
Hey guys, this is going to be a very different video to my normal setup, but today I'm going to view an apartment and it's actually in Derbyshire. Now I'm going to look at it as I've been considering a relocation and these apartments have just come up, and yeah, I just wanted to take you guys along with me and you can see the kind of apartment that I'm looking at and we can talk about finances. Now, the other thing that I'm thinking about is making smart decisions moving forward. I'm going to have to look at the numbers and really decide if it's a smart move or not. However, these apartments are brand new and I'm kind of excited. They look really cute. So yeah, let's go and see what it's all about. And I'm going to try and film and take pictures and things so you guys can see. In case anybody else is considering looking at properties in Derbyshire and renting. So this is a rented property. I currently own my own flat, which yeah, I probably would be selling and then moving into rented accommodation. So it's a big decision. And I'll kind of discuss with you my reasons, etc. afterwards, and a bit of a see how I feel. And maybe even share with you the decision I make in the end. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy.
I never like, 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 I never like.
So I went to see the apartments. So excuse me, I am a bowl of frizz. It was raining outside. It is what it is. I went to see the apartments and I really liked them. I looked at the 1 and the 2 bed, and the premises were really nice. Now Derby isn't particularly like a blow your mind sort of town or place, and I do need to look into it a little bit more because I guess it does matter where I end up kind of living. It is better location wise, and I really liked the building. I liked that they had a gym of their own, which was really nice. Unfortunately, it was really busy because it was an open day, so they had customers everywhere, so it was a bit tricky for me to like film all the building and stuff, which is a bit of a shame. But I got a video of the actual apartments themselves, and these were the showrooms, so they had like the extras, which looked really pretty. But obviously the actual apartment would only have the furniture without like the decorative things like mirrors and plants and all that stuff. They would have just put that on there in case you didn't know, because the first time I looked at an apartment, I thought it would come with all the extras. So when I walked in, I was really disappointed when I actually moved in because it just did not look the way I saw the first one. So it was actually a real letdown. So I would definitely suggest if you go and look at an apartment or a house and they've got a show home, that you keep an open mind that all the bits that they decorate with are not going to be there for you. So make sure you like the place. And just to give you a few tips in terms, this time I went in being quite picky, and I didn't really let things slide if I didn't feel okay with them. For example, and the things that I would consider really important are light. Now, the last place I lived in, it was kind of like really low floor, so other apartments and even people on the street could see in my apartment, and it was like floor to ceiling windows. So, and I didn't think of that because I really liked the windows, but I never thought, you know what, people are probably going to be able to see inside, so you have to pull your curtains down all the time, which means you're not going to have like light inside your apartment, and so basically it was stupid. If it's a really high floor and nobody's looking in, that's fine, that's irrelevant, it's probably a really nice feature, but in this instance, I didn't realize that people would practically be able to just look into my flat all the time. Including the bedroom was the same. So a few things I now look for are light. I want plenty of light, and I want to be kind of private. I don't want people to be able to look inside the apartment. The other thing I look for is, you know, what floor it's going to be on, because I have had noisy neighbors. And unfortunately, the top floor wasn't available. All of the apartments were sold on the top floor, which would have probably been my top option. So this wasn't going to happen. Other things that I looked for are, I wanted 2 bedrooms ideally. So I think I'm leaning toward the 2-bed. Also factor in that the price you pay often doesn't include anything. So this apartment that I looked at, the only thing it includes in the price of the rent is internet. Apart from that, you've still got your bills like your council tax, you've still got your car parking. If they offer car parking, sometimes they don't, so you have to consider a permit if you've got a car. Also, you have to pay electricity and things like that. Electricity is a big one, because when I lived before in another apartment, it was really expensive. Like, electricity was the killer. So you have to factor in that it's at least 100, if not 200 a month. So really think about that. So you've got your council tax, that's probably 100 and something a month. If you've got gas, then that's something to think about. Water rates, that's something to think about. But, you know, this one didn't include anything. But like I said, it had a nice gym. It also had a nice meeting room downstairs, which I liked. Potentially I could hold some work meetings around there. And from what I could see, it was clean, it was very smartly decorated, and hopefully, you know, things would run smoothly with that as well. I do like seeing a dishwasher. I don't have a dishwasher where I live now, so it's always a nice bonus when I see that, although bear in mind it uses a lot of electricity, so using that constantly is probably a bad idea. The bathroom was really nice. I said about the gym, didn't I? They also had like a nice little meeting room downstairs, so like a work space, which was very cool. I can kind of see myself now and again just checking out there. And yeah, the building was nice. Everything was good about it. So I'm gonna have to think about money. The problem is, a lot of the apartments had gone. So I don't want to rush into something like this. I want to make sure I'm making the right decision. So it may be that by the time I really make a decision, the car parks will have gone, and the car park spaces, sorry, will have gone, and that's a game over for me, because I really need somewhere to park. And it may be that the apartments I like will have gone, because a lot of them had gone. So, but I don't want to rush into this until I've crunched up my numbers, which I'm going to do later today. I do still need to try and sell my apartment if I'm going to do that, and that could be a process. But I'm glad I went, and I'm glad I really looked at what's available there, because they will have more available apartments going into September, October. Although a point to consider is moving in somewhere over winter is going to be really expensive, because you're going to have high electricity bills, and you're going to have, and also it's not just expensive, but it's kind of miserable. If you go into a brand new place, you have to be careful that so the reason why I say this is because I moved to Birmingham, and it was September, October, and Birmingham was kind of rough, I'm gonna say. It was very central where I stayed, so throughout the whole of winter, it just was miserable. And I wish I had moved in summertime. So I'm kind of doing a similar thing now, but I'm going to hold off and I'm going to really consider all of these points that I'm mentioning to you guys. If it's a new place, you probably want to experience it in summer rather than winter first, because winter can put you off. This is just from my experience, and I think it can kind of put a downer on the whole experience. Summer feels very, very different, and you can kind of enjoy summer and then make it through winter. But if you go straight into winter, it's going to feel like you don't like it more than if you went in the summer. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just like food for thought for me. So if nothing else, I'm glad I've seen the apartments and what they're offering, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to go for it just yet, but yeah, they were nice and I really liked it, and I definitely feel like I would move that way. And Derby's a lot easier for me to travel, and even if, to be honest, doing it in the winter now would probably be better, because it means I'm gonna have an easier traveling time over winter. So again, that's something to consider. One thing I like to do is make a pros and cons list when I can't decide on something. So that's the sort of thing I'm gonna do, and hopefully come to a decision. Now, they take a holding deposit, which is something like a week's rent, and they will take the property off they will basically reserve the property for you, and you move in when you want to. When you move in, they take a month's deposit, which is a month's rent, sorry, and then they hold that and you get that back at the end. So to keep the apartment, you need to pay a week's worth of rent, and then when you move in, you pay a month's worth of rent, and all of that is kind of, oh no, they give you back the holding deposit, but they keep the month's rent, and then you get that back at the end, provided you've kept the place nice and everything. The minimum term for renting these was 12 months as well, which I didn't love. I would have preferred a 6-month, but they had a clause in there, like a break clause, so you could move out if you gave notice within like 8 months. I don't love it when they try and keep you there for like a 12-month period, because I do find it's difficult. If you don't like the place and you're stuck there in 12 months and you're having loads of issues, it's not a good, sorry, that was my eggs, I'm making boiled eggs. It's not good to be stuck in somewhere like that for 12 months, because it just makes it awkward. When I lived in Birmingham, I ended up getting out of the rent time I was in, because, you know, I kind of kicked up a bit of a fuss, but I don't love the fact that they don't give you a 6 months so you can get used to the premises and then you can decide if you want to stay longer, sort of thing. But yeah, this is what it is, and it's 12 months with a break clause. Now, the break clause is a thing I didn't know about when I first moved into somewhere. So bear in mind, if you're thinking, do you know what, I don't want to be committed to like a full term, it's like a 12-month term, ask about a break clause. And then they give you a little bit of leeway as to moving out a little bit sooner if need be. Yeah, so that's my trip to the apartment, to see the apartments. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope it's given you a little bit of an insight of you know, the kind of things to look for. I mean, this is just my opinion, and I've only lived a few times in an apartment, but I think I've just got pickier as I've experienced more, because now I feel certain things are more important than others. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated, and yeah, we'll see. I hope you've enjoyed being with me today, and I'll probably see you in my next one.
Never like, never like.